Welcome back to TTells WhatsApp group video number 14. This is part 2. So if you didn't yet watch and listen to part 1, please do so before watching this video. So Mr. and Mrs. Zelig knocked on the door of Rabbi Hershel's house, his humble abode. And when he opened the door, he was quite astonished to see his future relatives by marriage, and he was very happy. But they were not so happy. Mr. Zelig immediately confronted him and shouted at him, "You imposter! How could you claim to be a wealthy man? You're a pauper, you have nothing. How could you do this? Hey, I want an explanation." And then he quickly said, "No, I don't want any explanations. Never mind. I'm going to go to look for the rabbi of the town, and I want him to summon you for a din Torah between us, to judge the case in rabbinical court." So Rabbi Hershel was unruffled by the insults and by the shouting. He just said simply, "Please, Mechuten, my relative to be, please calm down. It's not good to get so excited. I'll do whatever you want, but I'd like you I would like you first to have a meal with us. It's not often we get to host such our relatives to be, such special people like you and your wife." So Mr. Zelig, of course, was still too upset and insulted to consider this. But he simply said that whether they would accept the invitation or not would depend on the outcome of the case. And off he went to look for the Rav of the town. Rabbi Hershel immediately summoned his daughter, the Kala, and told her to take their one hen that they had, from which they had a little income from selling eggs, take the one hen to the local slaughterer and have it slaughtered so they could prepare a meal for their special guest. He was quite confident that things would work out. So she picked up the hen and she started walking towards the shochet, and all of a sudden the hen started jumping around in her arms and escaped and started trotting off. And so she was running after the hen, and she couldn't catch up with it. And the hen just kept going out of town and went into this small cave. So the daughter had to crawl into the cave. She was quite out of breath. And then when the hen had stopped running, so it was there near the entrance. And as she went to pick up the hen, she noticed, she saw a glint of something shiny further inside the cave. So she went closer to look, and she saw what was shiny was a gold coin. And then she saw that deeper in the cave there was a large number of gold coins scattered there. She couldn't believe her eyes, but she quickly picked up as many of the coins as she could carry with her, and the hen, and went running back home to present her find to her parents. The whole household was very excited at such a miracle. The only one who didn't find it exciting was Rabbi Hershel. He said, "Thank God, the merciful God has provided, as He always does." So the daughter decided to go back to the cave to try to bring back all the rest of the coins, and Rabbi Hershel went off to the Beit Din, to the rabbinical court. Now, the Rav of Ribichev at that time was Rabbi Avram Yeshua Heschel, who later became very famous as the Rav of the town of Apta, and he was known as the Apta Rav or the Apta Rebbe. But most popularly, he was called the Ohev Yisrael, the lover of Jews, after the title of the collection of his teachings that was posted posthumously. He passed away in 1825, 5th of Nisan, 1825. So he he heard first the claimant, Mr. Zelig, who had told him all about the shidduch and the deception, and how Rabbi Herschel had promised he was going to provide generously for the couple, according to his interpretation, and and it turns out that he's a pauper and can't provide. Not only can't provide the presents, he can't pay for. He's unable to pay for the wedding, and anything else. So when he finished, the Apter Rebbe turned to Rabbi Herschel and said, "How do you explain yourself?" He said, "I promised to support the young couple, and I intend to keep my word." So Mr. Zelig was quite astonished when he heard that. And how can he possibly keep his word? He doesn't have anything. So he said, "I'm not going further with this shidduch, with this match, until after you provide half the required funds up front. Otherwise we call off the match." And Herschel said, "Okay," which also surprised Rabbi Zelig. He wondered how he was possibly going to come through with the money to cover all the expenses. But anyway, there wasn't anything left for the Rav to do. According to what Rabbi Herschel responded, there was nothing left to talk about. He agreed. He said we would fulfill his obligations. So Mr. Zelig understood he should pay the Rav for adjudicating the case. This is traditional. So he gave him a gold coin, and as soon as he did that, Rabbi Herschel reached in his pocket and took out 3 gold coins and gave them to the rabbi. Mr. Zelig couldn't believe it. He didn't say anything, but the incredulous look on his face spoke out loudly. So Rabbi Herschel didn't hold back, and he told Mr. Zelig and the rabbi about the miracle that had just happened with the finding of the gold coins when he sent his daughter to arrange the chicken for the meal that he wished to host with his malchutanim. The Jinkov Rebbeim, Jinkov was a dynasty started by the son and then subsequently the grandson of the Apter Rav. So one of them, I'm not sure which one, inherited one of these 3 gold coins, and he said that telling this story, repeating this story to others is a segula, a propitious thing for single people to find their destined mate.